creative friends, welcome to my channel, and this video is a Wednesday, kind of a crafty video, and I know it's late, but hey, I'm getting them out there. And I'm in my red crafting suit, so Brian knows when I've got this on, don't bother me, I'm crafting all day. This is my suit that I don't care what I get on it, like if I'm painting, if I'm using acrylics, I don't care, this is what I'm wearing. But I have a whole list. These are all the Christmas gifts that I'm going to make, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos, and most of them are sublimation, like the way I made this cool tumbler. Isn't that the cutest thing? Anyway, I'm going to do a lot of those. But this video is because on my Mix It Up Mondays, I'm doing the mixes, and then on Tuesday I'm using them in my Pantry Cooking for Two. But in order for me to have the most common recipes that I use, like biscuits or the cheese biscuits or things like that, I made these little cards, little recipe cards with the most common mixes for the recipes for the mix. And so a bunch of you asked me, how did I make these cards? So this video is my first one for like my Wednesday crafty videos, and I'm going to bring you down to my laptop and I'm going to show you how I made these cards for my mixes. Okay, here we are at my laptop. Now, these are recipe cards that are on Canva, and this is the editing kind of program that I use. There's a free version of this. I pay for the annual thing because I use it to make my little thumbnails for my YouTube videos. So, and there's a whole bunch of features to this, so it's kind of cool if you want to try it out. But it's super simple. So what I will do is I will go to Create a Design. And I learned this. I am not a professional. I have to preface all this all the time that I'm not a professional, because I learn most of what I know from the old YouTube University. So I did learn that for this, it has some preset templates and things, but for just a basic thing, you want to do create a custom size. So I'll go down here and create custom size, and see, I'm not good enough to be able to share my screen so that you can really see it with, people do that. I can't do that. I don't know. So I have already done a number of things on 8.5 by 11 because that's what my printer prints out when I'm sublimating, when I'm doing sublimation down here. But I could also use this on a regular printer, but the paper is 8.5 by 11. Now if you're doing Canva, you'll see up here it has PX. You want to check, and you want to change that to inches or millimeters or centimeters, but I go inches, and then I'll go ahead and do it for you. You put in 8.5, 8.5 by 11, and then that's your standard paper. So I'm going to put Create New Design. Now, the thing that took me a while to figure out, let me get rid of some of these extra projects that I have up here. Close. Okay, fine. So the thing that I had to learn was how, if I put something on here and printed it, would print the whole size. So there was something I needed to learn that I'll show you here. So I've got my, technically it's an 8.5 by 11. And let me go home, because now in this program, but you could use any kind of program, okay? Any program would work because you're basically just going to type on there. But for the way these look, I went here and then let me make this a little bit bigger for me. I can't see it very well because I'm doing it from the side. Okay, so I went over here, and in Elements I typed on Elements, and then in Search, RECIPE, I did Recipe Card. I'm doing this from the side. So recipe card, okay, you can see how I've looked that up before. So I'm going to look for recipe card, and then all of these choices, let me see if I can get it up there close enough. See, all those choices come up for recipe card. Now with Canva, if they have a little crown in the corner, that means that it's available for people who have paid for it. But they do have free versions. But I could go up here and I could click on See All, like just see all. I want to see them all. And there's tons of them here. So let me say I'm going to pick this one right here. So there's my recipe card. All I did was click on it and it automatically showed up over here. Now I decide what size I want them. So with these, I decided I wanted these. Let me cancel that. It's printing stuff. I decided I wanted these 5 by 3.5. So I wanted the recipe cards that I was going to use to be 5 by 3.5. I accidentally printed some stuff, so I don't need it. So what I did here is on the corner, I'm going to grab the corner and kind of go out to the sides. And over here, it's going to show you your size. So I can bring that up, or I can even type it in. But I'm going to get it to where it's 5 by 3.5. And I can go down. There's an where I can alter it. Right here, I think it is. You can align it to the page. You can do all the stuff. But you get this to the size you want it. So we'll pretend just for fun's sake, we're going to do 5 by 3.5. So I want it 5. And you're going to bring it up here to the right height. So that's 5. And then I want the width to be 3.5. So I'm going to bring that in to 3.5, which I'm just going to do, let me go 3.5. Let me see if it works. There's 3.5. And now I want to bring it up here. But I have to unlock it's supposed to be square. So you're just going to have to get a rectangle one or a square one. Okay, so let's say I want this to be that size. And then I want the recipe here. Now the one I got, let me get rid of this one. I'm going to get a different one for you. One that's better for me. More like what I had. In fact, this is very similar to what I had. Okay, so let me bring this out. We're just going to make it, let's see. We'll make it 5 by, that one's just about right. So that is perfect. Okay, so that's the size of the one I had. So now, there you have your recipe card, and I'm going to bring it over here. It doesn't really matter where I put it. So now what I'm going to do is go over on the side here, and I'm going to pick text, and I'm going to put add a text box. So they have already these cool fonts and stuff you can use, but I'm going to write add a text box, and here my text box pops up. So now I'll be able to just highlight that, and let's pretend I'm just going to write a whole bunch of stuff, okay? Oops. Sorry, I clicked on something else. I don't want that. Okay, we're going to pretend I'm writing a whole bunch of stuff. Let's just go down as far. And see, it's already going to go only as wide as the picture that I have. Okay, so let's say that's that. Now I can grab that text box and I can put it up here. I'm trying to do this from the side. So hold on, let me get this a little bit smaller. There we are. And now I'm going to grab it and bring it up here. Oh, come on. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it up there. Okay. Hold on. Let me figure out why it's not doing that. Oh, I had just click link. So then I'm just going to grab it, and then I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to put it in the middle of my text, my little recipe card, and I can bring it out to however I want it. So there's my little box. So let's pretend that's my card. Okay, perfect. If I was to hit print, they would print this, the whole size of the 8.5 by 11. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to right click on it, copy it. So what I did there is, see how it says ungroup? What I did was I kind of highlighted over the two pieces, the text box and the card, and I clicked group. So if I move this around, it will be one unit. So I can move the text, or I can move the whole box, the whole card. But they're two different things. They're the card and the text box. But if I kind of drag over them, I hold down the left key, the left button, and I drag over them, the word group is there. So I group it, and that kind of welds the two of them together. So now when I move it around, it's all one unit. When it's like that, I'm going to right click on it and hit copy. Okay. Now I'm going to go back over to file here to the little drop down, and I'm going to come up here to home, and I'm going to do another create a new design. 8.5 by 11. So you see I have two tabs. I have one tab that's got my recipe card, and here's the other 8.5 by 11 piece. But now if I right click here and I paste it, it will be on there and it stays the right size. Okay, so I have one recipe card on there now. Now if I go over here and let's just pretend I'm going to ungroup it, And I don't want that on there anymore because I've already done my stuff. I'm going to go back over and I'll look for a different recipe card. Let's say I'm going to use that one. And that's kind of the size that I want. Okay, we're just going to pretend. Okay, I have to do it right or it makes me crazy. We're just going to go that way. So now I have that recipe card, and I'm going to go over and do another text box. Add a text box right here. And this will be pretty much the same thing that you have on any of your other types of editing, stuff. So I'm going to put a whole bunch of words. And so we're going to go back and I'm going to enter and I'm going to put a whole bunch of words. Okay, so we're going to pretend there's my text box. Now I want to move it up on the card. Maybe I should move it in a little bit so it fits. Okay. Now I'm going to sweep across it by holding down the left button and sweep across, and you see that that box that comes up? That now I'm going to group. So now it's made those two things one thing. I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to go now over to my second design that I made, and I'm going to right click and paste it. There it is. So now those two things will be on that 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So I could do like 3 side by side or 2 like this and 1 side by side. I could get like 3, I think I could get 4 actually on one piece of paper. So now if I wanted to print that, all you do, according to whatever program you're using, is print it. Now with Canva, you have to come up to these this little share button. You're going to click it and you're going to go down here to download. And because I'm printing this, it has PNG. It gives you several options of how to print things so that you can use them in social media and stuff. But I'm going to come all the way down here to the PDF print, and then I don't want the digital print. I want the one that says best for professional printing, and then I download it. It's downloading that whole thing, and I'm not going to print it out from here because I'll be using my sublimation printer and that wouldn't be good. And so then you just save it and then you click on that and you print it. That's it. That's how I made the recipe cards, and they're super simple. So now, I got to get rid of this now. Now I'm going to go home and get rid of this template. Anyway, so that's how you did it. I saved them that way, and then when I printed them, they all came out on a paper, and then I just cut them. So when I had, let's just say I had these 4, and I put them like on a little hooky thing so that I can take them off when I'm cooking. So we'll say that these 2 were on a paper next to each other, but I also got 4. So I cut them all out, and I took one and I put it on the back. This actually was a longer recipe than would fit on the card, so the second part of the recipe's on the back. And all I did was put it on the back. Now, if you're really slick, you can do all this stuff and print back, front and back. I'm just not. I'm kind of a sort of a basic techie person. If you show me something, I can then kind of figure things out. But I can't do Excel or any of that stuff. I'm just not that good. But I can manage things like this. So what I did with that was I put the beginning of the recipe and then the back of the recipe, or some of my cards will have actually 2 different recipes if they're not very lengthy. So I put them back to back, and then I used laminating pockets. So you can get this kind, which is basically it's a pocket, and you put things in there, and then you apply heat, and it laminates them, kind of like your driver's license or something like that. Or you can get, which is what I used on here, they're the ones that are a single sheet and they're sticky. So you can just lay those on there and then lay another one on top and then trim around them, which is what I did there. So that is how I made my recipe cards. Now I use Canva, but you could use Microsoft Word. You could use anything. And even if you don't have a template for recipe cards, you could still just make your thing that you're going to make. Just figure out how big you want it. But I think the trick is to right click and save it, then go over onto a piece that's going to be 8.5 by 11 and paste it. That keeps it the right size. Otherwise, when you print it out, it's just going to be a big old 8.5 by 11. So I hope this helps you, and I hope any of you that are like more techie or you're more familiar with these types of programs who can, you know, who can work it out. This is just me. I teach myself a lot of things, and usually if I can't figure out how to do something, like with Canva, if I couldn't figure it out, I go YouTube it, and that's how I learn. So I am not super skilled, but I'm enough to get myself by to do the things I basically want. And that's how I did my cards. But I love having the cards on the mixes. This is actually a master cake mix, and I have the mix here for the master cake mix, the yellow cake, and the chocolate cake right there. So, and one cake is one jar. So I take this out. It's like taking a box of cake mix out of your pantry, or that you bought at the store, and right there it is. But I can do all kinds of things with that. So there you have it. I hope this helps you, and I hope you guys are making the cards and making the mixes, because this is such a handy thing to have in your pantry and in your kitchen. But I hope that helps, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.